Hi class, my name is Rana Kraus and I'm going to be your professor this semester for nutrition. And this video is really to provide you a guidepost as I walk you through your virtual class and introduce you to some different areas so you know where to find everything that you might need. First of all, announcements. I'll send out announcements probably at minimum once a week, sometimes more than that. They'll also always be sent out to you in email. Here you can find my faculty information. Yep, that's me over there. You can email me through here, of course. Here are where my office hours are, where you can find me, and then any additional information you might need. Under syllabus and schedule, you'll find a course syllabus. I outline every week and everything that we will be working on and what will be due. And so I highly encourage you to print this schedule. It will help really keep you on track. Here you'll find your syllabus, and I recommend that you read your syllabus thoroughly and make sure that you understand late policy, weighted grades and such. Because in this class I do use weighted grades, you're going to want to take a look to see what categories weigh what and read through the different aspects of the projects that we'll be doing. All right, so now, more importantly, let's get down into these ones. So the this and that, this is my collect all. So for example, I just mentioned weighted grades, and maybe you're thinking, but I've never had a weighted grade before. Here's a video I created. Now it's a general video, and so some categories may look different than your categories, but the entire structure, how it would look in your grade book, is all exactly the same. And so please feel free to watch this video, and then that might help answer any questions you have about the way that's going to work. Here we have our Connect folder. Now for this class, we will use McGraw-Hill Connect, and I love Connect. I find students are so much more successful with it. And so if you click here, you're going to find a lot of different things. So first, let's start with how do you register for Connect? Like I mentioned in your first email, Connect does come with your class. You do not need to purchase anything. You already have done that through your special course fees. All you need to do is register. And so just follow the directions right in here. It's a piece of cake. It'll take you 2 seconds. The next most important thing is that you run a compatibility test for Connect. Connect works the best with Mozilla. I find that Chrome and Internet Explorer can have problems. And so if you have a technology problem with Connect, the very first question I'm going to ask you is, have you run your compatibility test? Because it's very important. Here is a video. In this class, we'll be analyzing our diet quite a bit, as you can imagine. And so here's a video on how to set up your diet analysis tool, which is inside Connect. In addition, I've provided you a couple other videos on the use of SmartBook, which are your Learn Smarts, which are assigned to you every week, as well as a video on how to run reports in SmartBook. Students who learn how to really use SmartBook and run their reports and use it as a testing system for themselves, these are my A students across the board. So these are worth spending just a few minutes taking a look at these to get the most out of doing your Learn Smarts. In addition, one of your first assignments is actually doing a Connect orientation, and so this will also help walk you through. So speaking of assignments, let's go to our weekly folder. Everything you need in my class for all of your work is under your weekly folders. First, right off the bat, I want to point out to you what a Carnegie unit is and what will be expected of you in this class. Ultimately, read through this, but what that means is because we are a Carnegie Credit institution, you will spend 6 to 9 hours every week on this material. Now, every week will fluctuate slightly, but I want to make sure that you know going into your class what will be expected of you. And so you can plan accordingly, and your weekly folders are well outlined, and you know what work you're working on, okay? So I do not have the week 2 folder open yet, but what you can see right here is our week 1. And so let me do this. I'm going to show you my point of view and not yours. And you can see as we go through that all your weeks are built. And I'll open them as we get a little bit closer. If you have an assignment that will go past just 1 week, I'll pull it outside the weekly folder. For example, next week we're going to have an assignment that's going to be due on September 10th. And because I want you to be able to find that readily and easily, it'll be outside the folder. Let's go right into week 1. You have a pretty big week to start with. Your weekly folders will always be set up this way. Our week 1, we're going to be doing chapter 1. Top of the week, we're always going to look at our learning objectives, okay? And so this is a really good place for you to stop, test yourself. Can you answer these questions by the time you've completed all the material this week? Can you go back to these learning objectives and have a sense of how to answer them? I'll give you a PowerPoint lecture. It depends on what I will associate this lecture with. Sometimes it'll be my own videos. Sometimes it'll be YouTube videos. Sometimes they'll correlate to other work that we're doing. So everything, it will be a little bit different every week. I try to change it up because not every student learns the same way, and doing the same thing every single week, to me, I think is just boring. And so we'll always be doing slightly different stuff. So here you can see your Learn Smart. Now, one thing about Learn Smarts that become really important is Learn Smarts are due at the beginning of the week. So this week breaks the mold a little bit, but most of your Learn Smarts will be due at the beginning of the week because it's the intent that you have read all the material prior to beginning to work on the material. Okay, and so you're going to have to take a close look at your schedule to make sure that you're on top of that, because you may have some due dates. Everything is due on a Sunday, but you may have some things from one week that are due what looks like the end of the week on Sunday, but you have something for the following week due on Sunday as well. Okay, and so that's important to take a look at. Now this week you're doing 2 different things. You are going to watch this video, and then you're going to complete this journal article, or excuse me, not article, but you're going to complete this journal. And then as far as your team goes, you are going to be completing Gut Instinct and participating in your team introduction discussion board, which will also be located in this folder. So now you can see that all your weeks are broken down. All of your assignments are located right within each individual week. Here you can see your teams. Now, I'm looking from my point of view, so let me put it on your point of view. I'm not enrolled on any of your teams. What you will see is you will see the one team that you should be on. And so if you click on this team button and you don't see a team, just email me right away and I will fix that, okay? We will be doing a few larger discussion boards in this class, not too many, but here is our discussion board, and you can already see that we have a couple things in there that we will be working on down the road. And so a few things we will do in large group discussions, and then we'll do separate team stuff as well. Okay, and so this basically is your introduction to the way your Blackboard shell is set up. And if you have any questions, by all means, please email me, and I'll always introduce the week's chapters and the work that we will be doing. And so this was more meant as an overview and not so much an introduction to week 1. But again, in week 1, we really are just beginning to get some of the fundamentals of looking at the foundation for what we will be studying for the entire semester. All right, I look forward to seeing you in class.